The next item is item number 8, application for a certificate of appropriateness at 484 Broadway in the Soho Cast Iron Historic District, docket number 16-2851, block 473, lot 14, a store building designed by J. Weber and Sons and built in 1879. This is an application to install a barrier-free access ramp.
7th inning stretch.
Morning. Boy, you guys got a long day.
15 minutes.
Oh, I see. According to some, we should be standing up the whole day, right? Should be.
It wouldn't be a bad idea. It wouldn't be a bad idea.
All right.
Okay, good afternoon, Commissioners, Carly Button, and Preservation staff. This is 484 Broadway, which is located on the east side of Broadway, adjacent to the corner of Broome Street. This is an application to install a barrier-free access ramp. There's currently one step up to both entrances with an overall rise of 8.5 inches. They're proposing to install a steel diamond plate barrier-free access ramp, which you can see here in the montage, which will have flared edges and a central landing area with sloped portions here and here, which eliminates the need for a handrail. And the applicants are here to discuss the installation details, and they've also provided similar examples of grandfathered installations in the historic district. And the project architect is Stephanie Francis.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Francis. I work for John Firth PT Architects. And like Carly said, we are proposing a barrier-free access ramp at 484 Broadway. As you see here, you have the current conditions. On the right, approach from the south side. On the left, approach from the north side, approaching 484. Our ramp, the design of our ramp, we wanted to minimize the congestion and the interference along Broadway. So with the sloping of the sides of the ramp, which you do not need a handrail, so that will not interfere with the path of egress there, or the path of travel there.
Can I ask a question for you about that? Is that bluestone adjacent to your sidewalk? Is that like a little strip up there and then to the top of the picture?
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
that's non-historic granite.
Non-historic granite.
Yes.
And are you suggesting that you're going to be tinting your concrete to be dark color?
No. No,
It's hopefully darker than what's there.
the concrete will remain. This is
Steel.
Steel.
Oh, it's still diamond plate?
Steel diamond plate.
Okay.
Yes. And then it'll match up so the owner of this building actually owns the building on the buildings on each side of this building, 486 Broadway and 478 Broadway. So 478 Broadway is going to, because of recent water infiltration, they're going to have diamond plate installed along the front of their building, which is already approved. So this will just, match right up into their diamond plate.
Has DOT approved this yet? Or do they need to create sidewalks, modify the sidewalks?
Well, for access-free barrier ramps, they do not need to approve it.
Even if it's more than 42 inches out?
I can double check on that. I will double check on that.
I'm sorry, what? What was your last question?
Well, DOT.
They
This is
don't,
going more than 42 inches out.
as far as we understand, they don't need DOT approval at this point in time until they have to seek approval from the Landmarks Commission.
So after they receive something once, they would have to go to DOT?
I would, yes, as part of their DOT
Okay.
filing process, but I believe that the point of where they cross the line from the allowable area is not an interference or a trip hazard because of the level of slope at this level of the ramp.
Okay.
And in terms of DOB, that also comes after our process, but with respect to the codes, we know that this slope and the portion of this ramp does not require any railings or any additional.
That's correct.
Okay.
So here is a plan of what we are proposing for our ramp here. Here's elevation. So you can see the slope here just goes up the 6 inches, which is the maximum that you can go up without having handrails. And then we have a landing here. To try to lessen the amount that it goes out onto the sidewalk, we started at the door, and we have a half-inch beveled level change here, and then we will be adjusting the existing entryway for a slope of 1 in 48, which is the max you can have for a surface for a turnaround space. While doing this, we did do some research, walked up and down Broadway and all around Soho to try to find some examples of existing conditions throughout the neighborhood. This is on 1 block north of our proposal, 515 to 519 Broadway. You have a similar condition here where they are sloping diamond plate up to the entry with the flanged edges. Here are just a few other more examples along Soho.
Can I ask a question? Is there a frame underneath the diamond plate?
Pardon me?
Is there a frame underneath the diamond plate? I'm just
Currently?
no. When you construct this, I didn't see a detail. Is there a frame? Do you know?
I do not have construction details. So here's just a few more conditions, just showing that the existing sidewalk along Broadway is not uniform from one building to another. And that's the presentation.
Are there questions for the applicant? Any questions? All right. Are there speakers on this item? Any speakers? Yes, please come forward. Kelly?
Kelly Carroll, Historic Districts Council. HDC is sensitive to accessibility to historic buildings, yet as with any incursion to historic neighborhoods, we ask that the intervention be as minimal and reversible as possible. While this strategy succeeds in reversibility, this diamond plate ramp consumes half of the sidewalk on Broadway in Soho, a major pedestrian thoroughfare. We ask the Commission to work with the applicant to conceive a substantially smaller solution. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Any more speakers on this item? All right. Would you like to respond to that? Yes.
Well, just want to point out that the photo montage, the way it's kind of skewed in the montage itself, makes it look larger than it actually would be on the sidewalk.
But is it half of, it looks like it's half of, it comes out half the width of the sidewalk.
Just, well, where it comes out to would be where it comes out to, but just the slope of the ramp going up, I think the way it was done makes it appear larger than it would be in reality. But it does come out that.
And that sidewalk already slopes as today. That portion of the sidewalk is already sloping.
Yeah, if you see, so the sidewalk right now already slopes up here. It has a little hump when you get in front of Broadway. And then it's just about a 1-inch slope from the building down to the sidewalk that we have to work with.
I think one of the advantages that this has is that you don't have any railings, which we've seen in other situations. So it dispenses of that item.
Right. It seems to me that it's much higher, considerably higher than other diamond plate examples even in the area. It is higher, but I actually think I think that these contour in diamond plate in Soho are beautiful, and this is characteristic. I do think, though, that it is bigger, and it's not just the rendering that depicts it inappropriate, incorrectly. I think it is taller.
Is it
Michael?
just in front of your, is that?
I think it actually extends to the next building. Isn't that correct? And it allows you to have access to the adjacent building?
Well, it does extend.
But is that, does it?
It
Yeah.
does extend on past the building lot line. It will not pick up the stairs on either side to allow access to that building, but I do want to point out this door here is just an egress door, an exit door. The entry to that building is around the corner on Broome Street, so that door is not used that much, and it's just a door leading to a lobby that leads to stairs.
But still, you can do that in front of other people's, so that's not your client's property?
No, they own all 3 buildings.
They own all 3?
Yes.
Okay, so they own all three and they're saying that this.
Yes. So
Because
with this-
otherwise that could be an issue, that the owner or the people who have.
Right,
that
but they own
space-
the building,
Yeah,
so.
okay,
it's
well,
okay.
okay, so that's fine.
So just want to point out, just to be clear,
Yes.
with one installation where you have very free access to three entrances, one installation, rather than three separate, where there are two doors and then the entrance to 486. So
Which would be a camel hump if you had three smaller ones, it'd be crazy.
Right. John, you want to say something?
Yeah, just to be clear, I think what you're trying to say is this is the minimal footprint, right?
Yes.
It's just no bigger than it has to be.
Yes.
It's, yeah, right, it's the minimum footprint to do three access points instead of three separate ones and without any railings. I think that's what the package is.
But it's taller than typical.
It's taller than typical, is it taller than typical?
it's taller than the typical grandfather examples, but
Right.
they are working with an 8.5-inch rise, so it's
No.
either this or an
But
8-inch
it's gonna look bigger than just about anything
It'll
there.
be bigger than the grandfather's.
Better than a ramp.
Better than it.
Okay. Just,
And there are some raised
And in
loading
fact,
platforms in the district as well. There are some raised loading platforms in the district as well, and it would be sort of in keeping with that vocabulary.
Just one other question. So on one side in front, you have diamond plate, and on the other side, you don't. I mean, I'm just thinking, but in front of the entire building, you could have diamond plate, even though it's not, raised, just to make
cover the
it
walls.
more, huh?
Yes, to cover the volume.
Yeah, just to make it more consistent, make the front, in front of that one building, those three buildings, more consistent. Would you look at it? Well,
Can you go back to the plan? I think then we can see where, right, the plan. Okay, so,
I was just saying, just for consistency and not to make it look so much like patchwork, could it be in front of all of the three?
Over here as well.
Yeah, I'm just asking, it's an idea. Because it looks sort of like patchwork. It looks like, you patch a piece of the sidewalk and it doesn't look like it's part of.
Well, this-
that-
Which is
Yeah.
basically what all of Broadway.
I think a
looks
lot of
like.
the streetscape is that they're in patches.
Okay, it's patch.
Okay.
And also, there's a row of granite panels right here. They're non-historic, but we wouldn't want to cover those
But they were
up.
specifically replacing historic fabric.
Okay, so that application, okay, so we wouldn't want to do that then. All right, okay, all right, so if there are no other questions, let's close the hearing. You seconded, and, all right, we can read, might like to read, thank you.
In the matter of 484 Broadway in the Soho Cast Iron Historic District, an application to install a barrier-free access ramp, I recommend approval, finding that the existing concrete and glass block vault lights are not original to the building and the installation of a ramp will not result in damage or the loss of any significant historic fabric. Sidewalk paving materials are original cast iron vault lights. That due to the grading and design of the proposed ramp, no handrails are required, which results in a low-profile ramp which will not alter the facade's composition. That the ramp will be constructed in diamond plate steel consistent with other vault cladding material in the historic district. That the proposed ramp will provide barrier-free access to both 486 and 484 Broadway in an unobtrusive manner. And the proposed changes will not detract from the special architectural or historic character of the building or the Soho Cast Iron Historic District.
All in favor? Any opposed? This application's been approved.